Well, here we are, ladies and gentlemen, the Your Little Castle Show. My guest, you can see on our set here, is Billy Fowler, and I'm going to jump in. People blame me for being too direct sometimes. I'm like, I know Billy because he just saved my life. I had a garage door that went broken, and reached out to one of my buddies, got everything going. He says, you got to get Billy in here to fix this. Billy Fowler, FowlerGarageDoor.com. Billy Garage, I'm sorry. Fowler Garage Door is your business, and you've been doing this for a long time now. Is that true?
About 22 years now.
22 years. Shout out, we're going to give real quick to our sponsors, as we always do. Carroll House Furniture, because you like nice things in your little castle. So that's what we have here, and jump right into it. I'm going to put up on the wall for everybody behind us. There's Billy's website. A lot of good stuff there. I know you're doing some other big improvements on that'll be coming too, so pretty exciting. And so Billy literally saved my life. I jokingly say saved my life, but literally, I'm like, I can't get out of my garage. What do you do? What was really funny was that I actually left, the garage door went down, and I get a call from my girlfriend. She says, why did you lock me in the garage in the house? And I said, I didn't lock you in the garage. What do you mean? I'm thinking it's a joke or something. So I come back, and I'm like, there's a spring broken. I can analyze things a little bit. I can see it. There's that spring. That looks like that piece is broken. That's the spring that's responsible for 50% of the weight. And girl by her own, or guy by myself, we couldn't lift it. Both of us got it up to where we could get our car in and out. But man, what a hassle. I did my research. I'm like, I can do this fix myself. I can make this thing work without anybody if I want to go buy the parts and do what I got to do to get this thing done. And then I started looking at it, and I'm like, no, sir. I'm going to get a hold of my friend who's an expert, who's, I think, one of the biggest suppliers in the region. And he said, and you're going to talk to, he texted me. I texted him. I scheduled that text to go out at 7:30 in the morning. I was still up at 5, but I didn't want to bother with sending him. And then he responded by like 8:30. And then I woke up at 10, and I'm like, he's got somebody set up for me to talk to, and that was you, Billy, to come save the day. How often do you see these kinds of situations? I want to jump in with that question right off the top, because that's what's emergent in my mind. People are like, I can't get into my house. I can't. How often does this happen? Why does it happen?
It happens daily around the United States. For me, as a smaller company, I see it a few times a week. Where the spring breaks on the door, and they either can't get back in, and they lost the key to their front door, or they can't get out. And it's a pretty urgent thing to get repaired right away to have access to get your vehicle in and out.
Yeah, well, I mean, yeah, that was the question. That was the point being made, and that was, I can't get out of the garage. She can't go anywhere because she depends on her car to get there. If the car's locked in by a 280-pound, I guess 300-pound, 280-pound door, we've got some nice doors. Those are the ones that are insulated. They're heavy. Yep. It causes a big problem. All right, let's jump back into, tell me, why did you decide to get into this particular line of work, and what was it? It's like, I want to be a garage door guy, an expert.
Well, in high school, I went to Lewis and Clark's Boat Tech. I was actually going to be an auto mechanic. So my junior and senior year, I was going there, and I realized the cost of tools to be an auto mechanic was astronomically high. I knew I wanted to do something that was mechanical and something with my hands. And my cousin worked for Overhead Door at the time, and he said that they were hiring apprentices. So in '99, I went to work for Overhead Door as a commercial apprentice tech. Fell in love with not working in the same place twice, getting the troubleshoot diagnosed, a multitude of different things from mechanical to electrical problems, and I can't picture myself doing anything else.
Well, when it comes down to it, we like to all have jobs that are essential, and these days we had another gentleman on to look up, but really knew their stuff about the commercial, just the walk-in door. And I've got a little magnetic lock here on our studio. He's like, wow, how'd you do that yourself? I'm like, I can research. It took me forever to figure that out. Similar thing I think I would make the point to everybody is, you can install your own garage door. I installed the other one. It's still working. Now, it hasn't been in there as long, and we're waiting for what's going to go wrong with that. You might look at it later and say, hey, dude, what's up with that? But, you don't do these things on your own because you cost yourself a lot more money, ultimately. Is that fair to say?
Yeah, in most cases, and I don't want to knock the do-it-yourselfer out there. There are guys that are plenty capable of doing what I do. It isn't rocket science, but there are certain things that you need to take in consideration. Are you gapping your tracks correctly? Are you hanging it from the ceiling correctly? What kind of lags are you using to lag things to the wall? Is your door level? Do you have a torsion spring? Do you have extension springs? Are you setting all that right? It is the largest moving object in your home, and it's better to have a professional come out and do it. But yeah,
It can be very difficult for the average consumer to try to take on. And we talked about a few things. I'm like, until I had a professional come in that I actually got to have a conversation with while you were in here, because I'm like, hey, I'm going to film this for you if it's cool with you. I like to promote businesses. And then we talked. I'm like, let's have you on my show, man. You're really good at what you do. And there's just a lot of expert knowledge that you have gained by doing this for so long that nobody else would know until they've done it as long as you have, right? And one of the things you pointed out to me was that a lot of people want that beam, the rod, what do you call it?
Opener rail.
Yeah, the rail to be level. And after you made the point to me, I stood back and looked at it. You had it a little bit up, or was it down, or a little bit up?
You want the opener head to hang just a little slightly down.
Slightly down, and that was because of the torque that's pushed on it. If it's level, that causes problems.
Correct.
And somebody's going to go, I want it to look pretty. I stood back. I'm like, if anybody notices that this thing is 3 inches higher than whatever, if it was level, they're crazy. I don't care. I mean, that's weird. I would say, why is it a little, like, if I ever happen to notice that? Nobody's ever going to notice it. But it's such a big difference. But that's a little tip that causes this thing to last a lot longer, the kind of expertise you bring to the table. True?
Correct. Yeah, the higher you hang your door above the opener, or the opener above the door, the more stress you're putting on the top section. It's just simple physics.
And physics as a matter of getting the job done correctly and installed the right way. All right, well, let's talk a little bit about what do you think has led to your success? You've obviously been in business for a long time. You've worked in the industry for a long time. What is it you think that sets you apart, that makes you better than the rest?
I think it's my willingness to continue to learn. It's ever changing out there. I think I've changed the way I've installed doors 7 different times. Because I might learn or see something that I can add and pick up and use. I've remained teachable the entire time. And I think that's led to a lot of success, and I pay a lot of attention to detail, the way I do things. I like a nice clean install, whether it's I'm putting an opener or door and an opener. If I come in for service or repair and I see something that I don't like, we talk about cleaning it up a little bit, making it look more aesthetically pleasing.
Well, it's one of those things where if you're going to spend the money, why not spend a little bit more? I know there's some people, we talked a little bit about, I'm going to save $50. Yeah, you save $50 today, but you're going to cost yourself hundreds, if not thousands, later. Because I'm a cost averaging guy, and let's say you get this thing done, and it would have cost you, I don't know, $1,000 for a full deal with everything you got to get. I'm just throwing out a round number because I know it can be a lot more than that, depending on what they're getting, how many doors and the weight and all that stuff. But a lot less if you've got a little job. But $1,000, and who likes to spend that every 3 years instead of every 8 years? Mm-hmm. That's like double the money you're wasting, almost triple. If you throw 3 versus 9, that's 3 times. People don't play this stuff out in their head. They're saving $50 to hire the guy that says, I can be there tomorrow or right now, and I can. And then you realize that they don't know what they're doing. Maybe they don't realize that they're not as expert as they may come across. That's why we want to have people like Billy on our show, because here's a guy you can trust. I just witnessed it. He did it for me and saved me. And like the next day after this thing broke last night, here we are, and it's already up and running. And I'm super happy because I got a better quality door. I got one that I didn't realize. I was looking at another manufacturer we won't say, but you're like, I wouldn't go with those. They're not as well known, well established, high quality as what we got here. And the cost was about the same. But until you know that kind of stuff. Yeah. Important stuff. What is it that fuels your passion about what you do that really keeps you going every day, to say you like doing this for business owners, homeowners?
It allows me to provide a service for somebody else. It allows me to do something I enjoy, which is working with my hands, and also help somebody else out by providing them with a service. Getting them in and out of their garage is something that a lot of people don't really think about until they can't do it.
So I came up last night, and I was like, oh my gosh, she's locked in the house. I mean, not literally. She could call an Uber or whatever. That's kind of a way around it. But how much a hassle is all of that just because of the door? And I thought it was just like one of the eyes, one of those eyes on the side that weren't lined up because those get hit by the trash can or whatever. No, the spring was broken. They last 10,000 ups and downs if you get an average one, if you get a higher quality one. Mm-hmm. All the stuff you learn by working with gentlemen like this. let's talk a little bit. I'm going to look at your website for a minute and show everybody what we've got going on here. We've got your Facebook and your website up on the walls behind us, but I'm going to put these up on the screen for everybody to see. But here is Billy's website, and one of the keys to this thing that you want to see, and this is what we always talk about, show us what people have to say. And Billy expressed, I'm sorry, Carter, we did have one client, and it was kind of a weird thing, that didn't give me a 5.0. And I'm like, well, if you've got 400 5.0s, then there's something weird. A lot of businesses don't spend all day and night doing these, but you've got 34 good reviews, and they're honest and to the point and real, and you got a 4.9. And so, it's probably, you have 10 times as many clients as you have reviews, because it's like 1 out of 10 will actually fill out the review and take the time to do that for you. But you're doing well, and you've got a great list of things that work you've done, things you've done for clients that make a big difference. I'm going to show everybody on the wall too now. Here's some pictures of some of your work, and we got some fun stuff. Got an Austin Powers meme there, but let's look at some of the stuff. Oh, Cardinal fan! Hey everybody! By the way, who's that young gentleman there?
That is my son Connor.
That's your son Connor. Well, tell him next time you're at the Cardinal game to come say hi to me. He knows me personally. He can call me Carter, because that's why I know somebody knows me. But some of the work you've done. Tell me about this one real quick.
I believe that was out in St. Charles. They did a carport, wanted to put a garage on it. That was kind of a hard one. The concrete's a little unlevel. It's a little low on the left side there, but that was a neat install. It's got a real tight opener to the ceiling on this side. It's a residential jack shaft. But put that in probably 6-7 years ago and haven't heard back.
There you go. All right, LiftMaster.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
That's the quality stuff that you want. And all of your work and the details. We've got some great footage. Ooh, this one looks pretty cool. Was this the same one on the inside?
That's the same one, and you can see the light coming in on the side there where the concrete's low.
Not much you can do to fix that if his foundation has gone down.
No.
So, but you fixed it.
People want us to, we can't.
You got to call the foundation guy for that. But again, looking at good work that you've done, and we could go through all the pictures you've got here. But
yeah, see, if you go back to I got pictures on there of work that other people have done. You see how high above that opener's hung?
Okay.
I was there to correct that, to lower that opener.
Yeah.
So no, I did not hang that one.
But Billy fixed. I'll go back to our us live on camera, because people don't want to see that all day, but they want to see humans. That's why we're doing this show. But literally, I mean, that's stuff that makes worlds of difference that people just don't even know to ask.
Yeah.
See, and how would they realize that?
Some of those are before pictures, and then you have the after pictures, so that they can tell, this is what they think is right, this is what they think is normal, and it's just not.
Not at all the way it should be. Okay. What do you think it is that you guys do better that separates? If there's one thing that really separates you, they say, this is the thing I specialize in, this is the reason you should use Fowler Garage Door. What would you say that is?
My attention to detail, like I said, I like a nice clean install, and I try to be as responsive as I can to customers. My phone's on me at all times. I will take time out of my day, my evening, to get back to customers right away. Communication's a big part of life in general, but especially in the service and repair industry. People want to know that their needs are of a concern to you, and that you're not just another number to make some money off of. So I like to get personal with people and let them know that, yes, I understand what you're saying, and I will get to you as soon as I can.
Well, Billy literally took extra time just for my explanation, because I stood there. How many of your clients stand there and watch your work? I was filming a little bit too, because I wanted to do that. Let me do this for fun. But
believe it or not, we get a lot of guys out in the garage, and gals, and some kids that want to know what's going on, and that's fine. We don't mind if they sit there and they watch. But in situations like that, we ask that you just kind of stand back, or if I'm winding a spring, please wait for the questions until after I'm done. That's the most dangerous part of the job. But no, we get a lot of people out there. We don't mind you watching. We don't mind answering your questions.
And it was just fascinating to learn and to see what you were doing, because I'm like, that torque, after I studied, I watched the video. Guy has a 15-minute video. It seemed like it took him 2 hours. He was cutting whatever. You did it in about 10 minutes, it seemed. Gosh, I'm like, I was going to try it. And I'm like, no, I'm not. Because that thing wound, and I'm the video guy saying, and he's got to wind that like 30 times, I think, right, Billy? And Billy's like, hold on, please. I'm counting. It's hard to answer a question and count at the same time. So excuse that on the video, but you'll see that. I came out with this high-tech. This is an 8K camera. We usually shoot at 4K or 2K, which is 1080. But there's going to be some great footage. We're going to insert somewhere, put his stuff out there for Billy. And before we go here, we're actually at the end of our segment here, but tell me about why you love baseball. We had a little conversation about that. Billy and I played against each other, I think, back in the day.
Yeah, I came in and I thought, man, he looks familiar. I wonder if he played for the Spikes, and he did. Why do I love baseball? Baseball's a game of failure, much like life. You don't get anywhere in life unless you learn from your mistakes, put them behind you, and keep moving forward.
And that's what I teach my son Connor about baseball. Every time he gets mad that he makes an error, or he goes 1 for 3 in a game, best guys in baseball get paid millions of dollars to succeed 3 out of 10 times. So that means 70% of the time they're failing. So baseball's a great teacher for life.
Well, we know that is the truth, and I put a picture of Connor up there for everybody to see. But I'm excited that you're a baseball fan. I'm excited that you've got such work ethic. And when we start talking baseball, I'm like, I bet you some skills you learn from baseball that you apply to life, and so much the case. So we really appreciate you. Thanks for coming on the show today. Thanks for sharing your expertise. Literally, everybody. Fowler Garage Door, Billy Fowler. Get a hold of him, 636-233-5489, FowlerGarageDoor.com. All right, guys, we'll be back for more. Stay tuned. And to watch this entire interview as we go back and forth, because some of this might get cut, so I'm going to put this part, I'm going to cut this to put it in front because I forgot to say it earlier. So I'm saying it right now because this might get inserted into the mark where we have the time for the show. But we have extra time to talk because there's so much these experts need to share, and we can't just do it all in 7 minutes or 15 minutes or 30 minutes. So we put the full thing on our YouTube channel. So check that out, and you can see the uncut version on our YouTube, our Facebook, our Instagram, and our what's the new one now? TikTok, right? Or see it on Billy's website, Billy's information that he's got out there. So stay tuned for more. We'll be back. Giddy up.